guys, it's Melanie, and today I am doing more of a vlog style video, so this is not really beauty related per se, but I wanted to share my 1 month update of doing intermittent fasting, which is, it seems like all the rage right now. I do want to say before we get started, this is probably just going to be a longer video. I apologize for that in advance. I am not able to spend quite as much time responding to comments during the summer months because my work schedule gets busy. So I put a lot more time into my job during the spring and summer. So I'm not gonna have a ton of time to go through and answer questions. So I'm going to try to answer any questions that I anticipate that you guys will ask within this video. So because of that, it's just gonna be longer. So let's go ahead and get into it. So today marks the 1 month update, or 1 month, I guess, anniversary of me starting intermittent fasting. I started it on May 1st, and I didn't really ease into it. I just kind of was like, all right, this is what we're doing today. I had been researching it for the last few months, just watching a ton of YouTube videos, reading a bunch of blogs. I'm trying to get as much information as possible to see if this would be a good fit for me before diving into it. And everything that I read about it just seemed very appealing to me. So I wanted to start this for a couple of reasons. The first is that I tend to have a fair amount of gut issues. I don't have IBS or anything like that, but I just find that my digestive system just tends to be kind of sluggish and slow. And, you know, I have, during most of my adult life, done a lot of probiotics and, you know, tried to eat things and, you know, consume drinks that help aid in digestion. And those definitely made a big difference. But one of the things that I was finding was that on the mornings where I was happening to just kind of inadvertently do intermittent fasting by skipping breakfast, my gut actually felt better throughout the entire day when I was doing that, which is what originally led me to kind of look into intermittent fasting. And that definitely was a big reason for me, just to sort of help regulate my gut, give it a little bit of a break, and just help sort of improve my digestion. And I'll get into exactly what it has done here in a little bit. The other reason was that I've mentioned in previous videos that I've been working out a lot as of late. Craig and I bought a 2-year membership from Costco to a gym. And so I've been going for about 1.5 years now, and I've made a lot of progress just in terms of the way that my body looks, how it feels in that 1.5 years. But I definitely have hit what I think is a little bit of a plateau. And I have to admit that I am not one of those people that can do a diet. I'm not going to do Weight Watchers. I'm not going to do Jenny Craig where there are meals delivered to my house. I'm not going to do caloric restriction. I mean, I have to some degree with the intermittent fasting, but I'll get into that. And I don't want to do like a juice cleanse. Like, I don't want to do those things because those things don't last. What has lasted for me is consistently working out 6, sometimes 7 days a week. That is working for my body. And that is something that I can do. What I cannot do is any kind of specific diet. I'm not into it. Some people can do it, and I really admire the people who can count their calories, who can stick to a program where they are awarded points, like Weight Watchers. It's just not me. I love food. I'm gonna eat what I wanna eat. I'm not gonna have someone telling me, well, you need this many fruits and vegetables, you can only have this much fat, you can only have this much protein. I don't want to count macros. I'm not into it. So, but I was reading that just by eliminating the normal calories that a lot of people consume during breakfast, most of which are usually always just carbs and from not the best sources, that you sort of kick that whole weight loss, which I don't want to lose a ton of weight. Like, I don't imply that, like, I feel like I'm overweight or anything like that. Like, that's not it. But I do still have some areas on my body where I recognize that there could be a little bit of slimming that could happen. I just feel like as I'm heading towards 40, which will be here, is it next year? Yeah, I turned 39 in November, so next year. I just want to be in the best shape of my life. And, only to be able to set a good example for my daughter and to feel good about myself and to just feel healthy. Like, I need energy, and I find that I get a lot of it from working out, from just being in better shape. I am able to lift things that are much heavier. I just don't struggle with things that I used to now that I'm working out. So that's really the main part of this. But there could still be a little bit of fat loss, and I feel like I needed to do something to change that. So by the way, those of you who are going to ask me to do, because I've been asked by a few people to do a what I eat in my day kind of series, I'm not ever going to do that on my channel, because I have watched other people do those videos, and then I go in the comments and I just think, holy hell, like there are people who are just wanting to give advice left and right about what you're doing wrong with the types of food that you're eating, the amount, the proportions of carbs to fats, and you should be keto and you should be that. Like, I'm not even gonna deal with any of that stuff. I eat what I want to eat. I don't want anyone's advice about that, so I'm just not even gonna address that. I eat what I consider to be a very balanced diet. I'm not vegetarian, I'm not vegan, but I don't eat a ton of meat. Usually I only eat it when we go out to eat, because I don't like cooking it at home. I'm not very good at cooking meat. I'll do chicken a fair amount, because I've actually learned how to do that on the grill. But other than that, I don't buy a bunch of fish, I don't buy a bunch of beef or anything like that to cook at home. From time to time, yes, but it's not a big part of our diet. I like to buy lots of fruits and vegetables. I enjoy having a really big salad that has spinach and bell peppers and, tomatoes, all kinds of different vegetables in it. I love stuff like that. But, it's not perfect. I do still have treats from time to time. I love Nutella. Nutella's kind of my thing. So I'll have a spoonful of it here and there. But I just, I'm not going to open myself up to feedback from the experts out there about, what I should be incorporating and what I should, it's nobody else's business what you eat. Just, you do what works for you. If you're not noticing any changes, you probably know deep down inside that you should not be eating Doritos, and you'll eliminate those things. If that's important to you, you'll do that. So for me, I have I'm very happy with the amount that I'm eating, and incorporating the intermittent fasting has really worked well for me. So what I've noticed in terms of changes in my body over the last month. First off, it was very easy to get started with this, and that's one of the things that I really liked, is that I was able to just start one day. And just so you guys know, I'm not going to get into all the different types of intermittent fasting. There is the eat, stop, eat. There is, extended fasting periods. I don't do any of that. I do the 16-8. So I basically will not eat for 16 hours, which, by the way, includes my overnight sleeping period. And then I will eat for 8 hours. So this is called the lean gains method, I guess. I just find that works for me and my lifestyle the best. I do have intentions of increasing the fasting to, I'm trying to get to about 18 hours, but we'll see. I mean, it might not be something that works for me, but so I will just not eat breakfast. I'm not eating my morning snack anymore, and my first meal is at noon usually, because I will stop eating at 8 o'clock at night. So when Stella and I get home from the gym, I make dinner immediately. I'm usually done eating by 7:30 actually, and then the rest of the night I just drink water. and that's it. But I'm usually pretty full from dinner, so I'm not really worried about it. The next morning when I wake up, like I said, I don't eat my breakfast, I don't eat my typical morning snack, and I have coffee. The one thing that I do that I think a lot of people will be like, well, it's not true fasting. I can't drink black coffee. I can't do it. I tried it and it just I didn't like it. So I will do a splash of the Khalifa coconut almond milk in my coffee. I do measure it out, and so I know that I am not consuming more than 20 calories. So it is, it's usually right around 20 calories, and I put that in my morning cup of coffee, and I'm good to go. I'm trying to only drink 1 cup of coffee in the morning, and then the rest of the morning, and then also in the afternoon, I will do water just from our refrigerator, which I don't love. And then sparkling water. I love sparkling water, and I do not drink the sparkling water that has the aspartame or aspartame or whatever you call it. No artificial sweeteners. It's just fruit-infused Talking Rain sparkling water that I buy at Costco. So there's nothing in it except for, like the fruit essence, they call it. There's no sugary sweet taste to it at all because there's no sugar, either artificial or real, in it. So that's what I will do, and I do find that the carbonation definitely helps me feel full just a little bit, which is good. But that's what I will do in the morning, and then my first meal at lunch will be either a really nice salad. I like to get the salads from Trader Joe's. Sometimes I will use the dressings that come with those. Otherwise, I will use a dressing that I have on hand that I really like. I will do, like protein shakes for a snack right after. I'm not going to get into like the rest of the day, but the first meal, I definitely make sure that it is very healthy, that it has a lot of nutrients in it, and that I get full from it. Because I will say that by between 11 and noon is really hard for me, because that's when I'm like, I want to friggin' eat. I'm hungry. And it's actually been really good for me to feel that hunger, because before, like, I never actually felt hungry. I'm a mindless eater. I eat out of boredom and out of just wanting things in my mouth. I don't know where that came from, but I very much just would eat food mindlessly in the past. And this has made me much more conscious about it, because I only have a certain number of hours to eat, right? And I know that I should fill those hours with foods that are going to be whole foods, foods that fill me up, foods that are going to be good for my body. And then, once my 8 hours of eating is up, that's it. Then I go back to drinking water, more sparkling water than anything else. I did originally start with 2 cups of coffee in the morning to kind of try to get me through the first couple weeks, but I'm finding now that 1 cup is more than enough to get me going. I definitely don't want to get that adrenal fatigue where, I become dependent on the coffee. I really just like coffee. It's not necessarily something that I have to have at this point, but I just really like it. It's part of my morning ritual, and it works really well. I've really been surprised that when I am making Stella's breakfast, I'm not finding myself tempted in any kind of way to cheat and like eat some of her bacon and eggs or anything like that. I make it for her. I sit her at the table, I let her eat, and she enjoys her breakfast, and I enjoy my coffee and my water, and I'm good. It really, at this point, is just very easy for me to do this every single day. There have been a couple days where on the weekends, Craig has wanted to go out for breakfast burritos, and I have broken the fast a little bit earlier, so around 10:30 or 11. I find that I don't feel as good the remainder of the day when I do that. My body really likes not having breakfast. It works so much better, so that when I do start eating, it's just easier for me to process my food, if that makes sense. Having that break in the morning and just really seeing my stomach completely flat is incredible. I don't get bloating towards the latter part of the day anymore. I will sometimes if I drink just a ton of the carbonated water, But, you know, if I do notice that I start to get a little bit distended, I will just switch to the regular water and it goes away. I'm just not bloated anymore, and it's great. I look in the mirror and I'm just like, this feels good, it looks good, and my body is reacting really well to it. I have also noticed, and this, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but my eczema has calmed down a lot more. I'm finding that I'm not eating as many carbs, and, you know, bad for you carbs like cereals. I'm not eating as many like granola bars, processed things like that, which has been also great. And that's probably where, you know, a lot of that like calming of the eczema is coming from. It's just I'm making better food choices, which I think, you know, if you fuel the inside of your body with good things, then it is going to radiate out, obviously. So I'm just finding that that is working extremely well for me. Like I said, the bloating and just the tummy discomfort isn't there towards the latter part of the day. I will say I have not had any dramatic weight loss. I know that there are a lot of people out there who start intermittent fasting and they're like, I lost 30 pounds in a month, or I lost, you know, 3 pounds a week or something like that. I have not. I mean, I can tell a difference in the overall shape of my body, but honestly, I have a ton of muscle mass. I have been lifting and lifting pretty heavy for the past almost year at this point, and I am built very differently from a lot of women. My calves are huge. I have, you know, quads that are pretty muscly at this point. My arms, like I have a lot of muscle mass, and I have sort of had to get used to the idea that, you know, there probably isn't going to be a drastic weight loss number for me. I still weigh about what I did when I started, but I noticed a difference in the tone of my body. I have slimmed down a little bit more. Muscle obviously looks a little bit nicer underneath your skin than fat does, and so that's really what I've noticed, and I like that. I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy to continue doing this because it's so easy, and I just love the way that I feel. Another thing that I noticed that I thought I would mention, and I never thought I would say this, but I can't really do a ton of treats anymore. I will occasionally, like I said, have a spoonful of Nutella. I've had a couple of these s'mores frappuccinos during the time that I've, you know, been allowed to eat. I don't want to say allowed to eat, but during my window of eating, I have had a couple of s'mores frappuccinos, and let me tell you, I felt so gross and disgusting afterwards that like I can't even, it's not worth it to me. I can't do the sugary drinks anymore. I never really drank soda at all. Like occasionally I would have a sip of Craig's Coke or something like that because he still likes soda, but I can't do it, you guys. I feel so physically ill from having removed a lot of those artificial sugars or, you know, just excessively sugary foods from my life. So, you know, the granola bars, the Fiber One bars that I used to really like to eat, all of that stuff is loaded with sugar. And I'm not saying that that's bad. It's fine to have a treat every now and then, but my treats now come from more often than not fruit. So I love blueberries, I love blackberries, I love watermelon, I love honeydew. It is summertime. There is all types of fruits available. Those natural sugars my body is okay with from the fruits. From artificial sources, not so much. I find myself getting physically ill. I get headaches. I just feel fatigued and run down. I will get that sugar high, but then the crashes are so much harder than they were in the past. And so for me, I hate to even say it because I love the s'mores frappuccino, but I'm just not going to be able to do it anymore because it's not worth it. I feel like garbage afterwards. So it has really brought about some good changes. Nothing drastic the way that some people say it happens for them with intermittent fasting, but enough of a change to where I think this is going to be my lifestyle going forward. Another thing I want to mention is that during the time of my period, I have noticed that I have to be a little bit more flexible. There are times where I get hungrier a little bit earlier during that week, and I allow myself to break the fast. I'm not going to torture myself with this. If I really feel like I need food, I'm going to eat food. But I have found a lot more discipline and just ease in being able to make better choices. It just seems to come more naturally. Like, it's not something that I'm struggling with. It's just so easy, you guys. I'm gonna keep doing it. I told myself when I first started that I would give myself 3 solid months. By the way, you don't have to do this 16/8 fasting like 7 days a week. You can just do it during the week and then take the weekends off. That's the thing about this. It's super flexible. Like, you do what works for you. If you don't want to skip breakfast, well, then you just stop eating earlier in the evening so that you are able to get that 16 hours of fasting in there somewhere. It just, you can make it work for you. That's what I really like about this. For me, skipping breakfast has in the past been kind of a natural thing. You know, having a kid, a lot of times you don't get to eat breakfast because you're running them around in the morning or getting things ready for them. So it just fits so naturally within my lifestyle to skip the breakfast, skip the morning snack, and then get the nutrients in the, you know, from 12 to 8 range in the afternoon and early evening, and then just be done. This isn't a struggle for me. I wouldn't recommend you doing anything like this if you have any health problems, quite honestly. I think you should talk to your physician, not probably. If you have any health concerns at all, if you have diabetes or any thyroid problems, go and talk to your doctor. Do not just like rely on your internet research. Go and talk to your physician, because they might be like, this is a bad idea and here's why. So I don't have any underlying health conditions that would make any of this bad for me in any kind of way, and the changes that I've noticed are really good. So this is something that will be very easy for me to stick with. I love it. I will continue to update you guys maybe on a monthly basis to let you know how it's going. But so far so good. 1 month in, I feel great. So much less bloating. Such an improvement in my food choices and my mindset. Like, the way that I think about food has just changed completely. It is a source of nutrition rather than a source of like a boredom killer for me. And I'm happier. I find that my mood is improved. I find that I'm just feeling better overall. And for me, that was the number one goal with all of this. You know, the improvements in the overall shape of my body are nice. I'm not gonna lie. I am not above admitting that I want to look good for my age. I want to set a good example for Stella in terms of, you know, showing her that physical fitness is really important, that making good food choices is important, especially for a toddler. Well, she's a toddler, she's 5, she's not a toddler. For a 5-year-old who is so particular about her food, you know, I try to model good food choices, like broccoli is actually really good. You know, like you can put some seasonings on top of it to change the flavor of it, you know, have some blueberries instead of ice cream, or, you know, like let's do blueberries in with the ice cream, or better yet, let's do a fruit smoothie instead of that. You know, like I want to model all of those good things for her, because I don't want her to ever get to a place in her life where she feels uncomfortable with her body, or where she finds that her body isn't working properly, and I want her to know what to do to fix it, you know. That's just really important to me, and you know, I hope that in the future Stella will look back and think like, you know, my mom took the time to take care of herself, because, you know, a lot of that physical activity also helps your brain. It really, that 2 hours or that hour and a half, however long I can be there, that I'm at the gym, is my time to sort of decompress, to not think about, you know, my clients, to not think about the stuff that I have to do at home, to just like do my own thing. And that's really important. And, you know, mental health is always something that I've really valued. I have a degree in social work, so for me, like, I know how important mental health and taking care of yourself is in your overall just lifestyle. And I want to model all of those things for my daughter. So we should all set good examples for our children, and that's something that is very important to me. So hopefully this answers any of the potential questions that you may have had about how I'm doing it. I'm not telling you to do this. It may not work for you. You might try it and think, this is stupid, I hate it. But it's just my experience with it. So this is how I'm doing it. This is what is working for me. You might find that you need to tweak things. If that is the case, do it. Do not try to follow somebody else's regiment, because it may well not work for you. I've had to tweak a few things here and there, and I have found the way to make this work for me, and I love it. I just don't see myself going back, and I cannot wait to see what I look and feel like at the end of the year. I really think that health-wise, I'm getting to a really good spot. Fitness-wise, I'm getting to a really good spot, and just, mentally too. There's been a lot of positive changes, and that's amazing. So if you do have any questions that I didn't answer in this video, definitely leave them down below, and I will try my hardest to at least answer all of the questions. I still read all of my comments, by the way. So if you are doing intermittent fasting, let me know about your experience in the comments. I would love to read about it. And thank you guys so much for watching and supporting my channel. If you are new, please subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Take care. Bye.